Hey friends, it's time for another Friday Fun Fact, where I'll give you a wee tidbit of information that you might not have known before. March is Women's History Month, so let's learn about an exceptional woman from our own backyard, Eleanor Roosevelt. While most know her as the wife of FDR, the 32nd President of the United States, Eleanor was an exceptional person in her own right, a United Nations diplomat and humanitarian. Born in New York City in 1884, Anna Eleanor Roosevelt grew up in a wealthy family that held community service in great esteem. In fact, when she came home from boarding school at 18, one of the first things she did was teach at the Rivington Street Settlement House in Manhattan's Lower East Side, and she later did great work with the Navy Marine Corps Relief Society during World War I. Shortly after she returned from boarding school, she met and married her fifth cousin, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. As an aside, fifth cousins share great-great-great-grandparents, and Eleanor is the one directly related to Teddy. She's his niece. Eleanor and FDR were certainly an odd pair beyond that, though. According to the Encyclopedia Britannica, his taste for fun contrasted with her own seriousness, and they ended up living two very different lives. This was only complicated when she discovered, after giving birth to 6 kids, mind you, that FDR was having an affair in 1918. Although Eleanor initially suggested a divorce, they ended up settling into a mutually respectful and supportive marriage, albeit one lacking intimacy where each partner had their own independent agendas. This is important because Eleanor's unwavering support was crucial to FDR's political life. From the New York Senate to the Assistant Secretary of the Navy to the Governor of New York to President, she not only held the family together, but also performed the oft-overlooked but incredibly important job of official wife, attending formal parties and making social calls in the homes of other government officials. While she might have found these duties tedious, they formed political connections that were impossible to ignore. She became even more involved in politics in the 1920s, partly to help FDR's political career after he developed polio, and because the freedom she had allowed her to do the humanitarian work that she believed in. She joined the Women's Trade Union League, became active in the Democratic Party, and joined the Legislative Affairs Committee of the League of Women Voters. Remember, this is 1920. White women had just gained the right to vote. She also helped establish Val-Kill Industries, which was a non-profit furniture factory in Hyde Park, New York, in an effort to stimulate the economy in the Hudson Valley. Becoming First Lady only increased her influence and freedom. She held press conferences only for women, a move that forced agencies to employ women in order to not miss out on breaking news. She also traveled extensively, being the president's eyes and ears. Eleanor worked to defend the rights of minority groups, improve child welfare, and help the poor. After FDR's death in 1945, Truman appointed her as a delegate to the UN, where she played a major role in creating the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Later, Kennedy appointed her chair of his Presidential Commission on the Status of Women, where she worked until shortly before her death in 1962. Eleanor Roosevelt set a standard of humanitarian work and political participation that First Ladies have worked to live up to ever since. While yes, the freedom her unique situation gave her allowed her to move in circles that others might have been closed out of, Eleanor knew that she had the power to help those in need, and she dedicated her life to doing so. Intrigued? Check out her catalog. There are tons of biographies for you to explore. I recommend Franklin and Eleanor: An Extraordinary Marriage, as it elaborates on their fascinating relationship. My sources are below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Happy Women's History Month, and I'll see you next time.